What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. It is October 22nd, a little after 10:35 a.m., just over 1 hour into the market morning. We've been seeing some crazy stuff this morning. Pre-market, the shippers was the talk. DCIX, TOPS, GLBS, they were all gapping up. And they capped up, everybody chased it, and it crashed all the way back down. And I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be a crazy day today. A lot of emotions going on. This touched a high of 375 and bottomed out down here at $1.60. And so far, Tops today has just been playing around with this $2 area, running up here from $1.80 up to 240. So that was a nice move right here. And now it's just kind of petering out. And DCIX isn't doing too much of anything, but it did the same thing. From $1.40, this gaps up to $1.90 and tops out at 225, and it trended all the way down. I did take a trade on DCIX. I lost $50 on this. It just couldn't get momentum. I hate playing these shippers. And that trade that I took today and took a loss just proved it. I'm done with these shippers. They're just pieces of crap, to be honest. So I lost $50 on this, and then ESEA popped up. ESEA pops up, no news. I see on the daily chart it's above the 50 and the 200 day. The 200 day is right here at $1.80. Okay, this pops up to $2, falls back down to the moving average, and then this pops right back up to the $2 resistance here. And when it falls back down below $2, I said, hey, this is a low float. Nothing's really going on right now. Traders love chasing these low floats. I got in on this with 2,000 shares right at the break of $2 with a $1.80 risk on this. And this popped up first to 225, and I immediately sold half. And then I got greedy and let it run all the way up here. You can see these long wicks right here from 225 up to 245. I was trying to get this go up to 250 and sell my last half, but then it just quickly touched it and came right back down to 225. I said, Dave, you're up. Take the profit. So I took it, and I made $484 in literally minutes playing that. I see it happen all the time. So when I see a setup that I'm comfortable with and I'm familiar with and I've seen time and time again, I'm going to capitalize on it. Because I see it happen all the time. You know, traders see it's a low float, it's hitting scanners. Traders love chasing these low floats. So when they're chasing it, I'm unloading on it. So a real quick $484 profit in 4 or 5 minutes. And I made up for the DCIX loss, $50 I took. And so overall up $450 to start the week. Not bad. I'll take it. But these shipping companies are a piece of crap. I cut my losses. It was just hanging around here at $1.72. I got in on this at $1.69, and it just failed. It was just sitting there. There was like no buying coming in on this, and on the tape, all I seen was just huge selling coming through on this. And if right when it started to crack below $1.65, I got out. And then it bottomed out here at $1.50, and it moved right back on up to $1.73. I hate playing these shippers. I shouldn't even played it to begin with. And then we also had YECO pop up for a second this morning. This morning it was real fast, running from 525 up to 671. Very fast. Let me put this on the 2-minute. I don't look at 1-minute candles. But look at this long wick right here. This range from 580 to 670, $1 range right here. Very fast. I didn't want to chase this or anything. No momentum came into this. Volume didn't come into this. It's only sitting at 766,000 in volume. And then PLAG. Let me try to find it. This opened back up today. This was the one from Friday. It ran from $3 to a high of $11.50 and got halted, news pending. And I was thinking this was going to open up right at the market open, and it didn't. This opened up at almost 10:30. So it just opened 10 minutes ago, and it had a huge gap down from $11.50 to $3.80. Or no, it opened here at $3.43, and it immediately got halted again. That's a huge gap down. Wow. They don't even tell you what the news was. They came out with news this morning. Planet Green Holdings comments on unusual market activity. And I guess they came out with a press release right here. Let me see. Let me bring it over for you guys. Planet Green Holdings announced today that in view of unusual market activity in the company's common stock on October 19th, the New York Stock Exchange American has contracted the company in accordance with the unusual practice. The company is not aware of any reason for the activity and stated that its policy is not to speculate on unusual market activity. So you know what happened? Traders pumped this up, a chat room pump. That's all this was. This was just a chat room pump. So I hope a lot of people didn't get burnt on this. It traded Friday, 5.8 million in volume. So, that would have been a rough weekend holding on to this. But the overall market's red today, and I was still able to pull out profit, almost just over $450. So, just goes to show, if you got to put your time in. You got to put your time in. Because the market likes to cycle. What's the word I'm saying? It likes to cycle. You see stuff happen over and over and over again. Just like last week, we've seen a lot of Chinese low float stocks explode. Literally, this happened a year ago. And everybody knows that's been in the market. All these shippers, always around Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, they always like to get active and take off. And look at today. But today the market gapped down. Let's see, this is the SPY. So the market gaps down and has a sell-off. I really can't see it too well on this, but then it's starting to rally up right now. But tops just keeps going back and forth below $2 up to $2.25. Me personally, I think this is just petering out. It's overcrowded. It's got 22 million in volume. These are pieces of crap. And then you got SLS gapping up on news. It had good news this morning too. It climbed on positive breast cancer drug data, and it gapped up from $1.50 to $2.25, and it falls right back down. It's right back at $1.50. It just seemed like everything was starting to spike up, and it would just run into a wall and just fall right back down. NIO was in a range from 780 to 760, and look at this, right at the open, boom, falls down to 750 to 740, and it's still falling down to $7. What stocks were you guys keeping an eye on today? Leave a comment. Let's see. I was just keeping an eye on the scanner, seeing if anything popped up. I know a lot of the attention was on these shippers, but I took a stab at DCIX and I lost $50 on it. I don't like playing these shippers. They're very, very sketchy. They do what they want. But once one starts moving, they all start moving. You got DCIX here. TOPS is another one. GLBS. Oops. GLBS is another one. There's a couple more of them too. DRYS. DRYS. And then we also had NATE go on a huge rip today. This thing, NATE, past history on this has just been nuts. This thing went from $4 today pre-market. It hit a high of almost $12. And then right at the market open, it opens at $8.25 and runs up to a high of $10.67. And now it's trading at $7. A lot of choppiness is what I'm seeing. PXS slowly grinding up. I don't really see any news besides this Form 6K. And it seemed like right when Canada legalized marijuana, all these pot stocks just fell off and got destroyed. Seed has been a good one recently. Oh, and VTVT. I had my eye on VTVT this morning. If you tune into the weekly recap, every weekend I've had VTVT on my list, and I've said it all the time. This $4 area has been very, very tough for this stock to break over. If I go to the 15-minute here, it's tested $4. Look at all these times. After this run right here, and $4 was support here, it's tested it here, here, pretty much all right here, 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 and here. All these times it couldn't break really over $4 and hold. So that's going to be a real tough resistance area for this. And I said this has really good support at $3.50 and $3. And this has conferences coming up on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this is still going to be on watch for momentum to come into this. But I had my eye on this to see if it could break over $4 and hold above $4 and maybe make its next leg on up. but right when the bell rang, it just crumbled. And it fell all the way down, look at, to 350. And it bounced all back up to 375. So nice little 25-cent bounce right there. From support, we've plotted out over the weekend. You know, this is why you study and prepare yourself over the weekend. You know these areas of these stocks where resistance is, support. That way when the market's going on, you know, you're not scrambling around trying to figure out what's going on. PLAG, that one's just a disappointment. I know a lot that bummed a lot of people out. PLAG. It's still halted, I think. No, wait. Yup. Trading halted. Man. That's what happens when you chase these low float pumps. If you chase these low float pumps and they just go crazy, the SEC halts it, and then they could put a T12 halt on these. And it doesn't have any news. The SEC is going to be like, why is this running so much if it has no news? Then they're going to put a halt on it, and then they're going to request more information from the company. And I've seen T12 halts on these tickers for a day, a couple days, a week, a couple weeks, even months. I think GLBS was one that got halted for like 2 months. And most of the time when they get unopened or when they reopen, they gap down like over half of where they were at. And it's a huge loss. The last big one I knew of was CALI, C-A-L-I. See, and where is this at now? It's at 67 cents. These are pieces of crap companies. That's why I just trade them. I don't invest in them. But that seems to be about it for today. The market's red. Now it's... Let's see real quick. Hold on. See, this is what the SPY's doing. We gapped up this morning, and then we had a sell-off right here down to 274. And then we get this grind up to 276. Let's compare this with TVIX to show you just because the market's red and it's volatile, what can happen. So TVIX and the SPY. Let me zoom in on this. Okay, so right here on the right side of both of these, this is the daily chart, okay? And on the left side here, this is the intraday chart. Now, we just had the SPY trend down from 277 down to 274. And now it's rallying back on up to 276. So when this fell from 277 down to 274, TVIX spiked from $40 up to $43 and $45. That's a $5.50 spike right there. Let's look at this on the 3-minute. It does the mirror opposite. It does the mirror opposite of whatever the SPY does. So if the SPY and the market's crashing, these traders turn to inverse ETFs and trade those and take advantage of the volatility. We recently just had the SPY drop from 293 down to 270. The TVIX was at $25. When this was crashing, this spiked from $25 to a high of $52. Now tell me that's not awesome. There's always opportunity in the market. You just got to know where to look and practice. But going back to this, I just seen tops back at $2. See, look at this thing. It keeps coming down here to like $1.90 and coming right back up. But you know what? It's forming a pattern right now. That's what it's doing. I gotta put new batteries in this mouse. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. Put a trend line on this. This is just forming a triangle. There we go. See that? Is it going to break out of this triangle? Yep, it'll break out of this triangle and watch. More than likely, when a stock breaks out of a pattern, it's going to come back and test the area it just broke out of to hold as support. And when it does that, that's the patience right there. See how this acts as it's breaking out of that pattern. Very thin on the ask, or the level 2, very thin. Yep, and DCIX is at 182, so that would have been a winner. But that's a long time holding on to something. I would have held on to that for an hour and a half. See how it broke out of that, and now it's coming back down and testing that resistance line where it broke out of the pattern. Now, if this was strong, it'd bounce off of that. And then it would start moving back on up and breaking out. Seeing a lot of buying on this. A lot of buying. Very, very thin though on the ask right here. I don't know if there's any hidden sellers. It's having a tough time here at 138. And here it goes. Let's see what happens. A lot of big selling. Switch to the 2-minute real quick. I'm seeing a lot of long wicks. This is why I don't like trading these shippers. They're garbage. Having the patience to hold on to something like this and it doesn't know if it wants to break out or not, I don't want no part of it. You see how it popped up and then it came back and now it's retesting this area where it broke out from? And then Plag just reopened as well. Oh my goodness, this thing is just wow. Gets halted at 382, gaps up to 450, runs up to 550, drops back down to 460 and gets halted again. Look at that. That's, ugh, that's just nasty looking. And DCIX finally popped out. But they both formed a pattern. They both formed a triangle. So this, I got in at $1.69. It ran up to $1.87. Would have been like a 17-cent winner. But like I said, I would have held on to it for an hour and a half. Now this is the test to see if it's going to actually break out. It's got to break through this 240 level right here. $240, and then it's going to come up to $257. And if it can break through $257, this thing, it can possibly run. But what did I say, though? I said this broke out of the pattern. More than likely, it's going to come back down and retest the area it broke out from to hold that support. And what did this do? Right there. It came back down and it bounced right here at 216 where it broke out from. And now it's popping back up to 230, maybe trying to break out. But my opinion, this is just ugly. Gotta have a lot of patience for this. A lot. See how it just like paused for a moment? See, I wouldn't have the patience to hold on to this. Eating through the ask. There it goes, finally. Big block sellers right there. Big selling. So it's like as soon as they ate up the ask and it starts moving up, people are selling literally 2 cents up. Watch, this is more than likely, my guess, this is going to be a slow grinder, a very slow grinder, and then at the end of the day, it's just going to explode and go crazy. That's my guess. I feel like the market makers are playing games with this. Because they know all the attention's right here. Top's got 25 million in volume so far today. This is probably going to hit 50, 60 million in volume at the end of the day. Last big day it had in volume was 26 million. That was back in June 8th. NETE looks to be grinding up. Resistance right here at the VWAP. $8, $8.15. So NETE could be setting itself up for a move too. PXS starting to pop up again. This is above the 50 and the 200 day. It's going to get stopped right here at $1.80. That's where it's got room to run up to. But I'm not really liking the strength today, to be honest. I feel like a lot of stuff's forced and grinding. Nothing's really strong. Then you got GLBS. This is another shipper popping up. GLBS, DCIX, Tops. ESEA starting to heat back up again too. This is the one I traded and made profit on. Look at that. From $1.66 up to almost $2.10. It's a 40-cent move right there. Tops. See how slow it's just grinding? You got 11,000 seller right here. That just got eaten fast. 18,000, 10,000. See how fast it's getting eaten away? But then you have all these big sellers as well. It's like the ask is getting taken out, but then you also have a lot of big sellers as well. The bid is very, very thin. I wouldn't feel comfortable with tops. $23,000 seller right there. Did you guys see that pop up? That's why it's important to keep it's like you always got to keep an eye on the tape to get a feel of how things are running. See how this is it's just slowly grinding. Just like ears last week. Ears was just the grind of, I call it the grind of death. It's just moves up 2 cents, pulls back 4 cents, moves up 3 cents, pulls back 5 cents. I don't think there's any news on why all these shippers are running either. ESEA is trying to get hype into it. It's just a low float. Yeah, it's 7.25 million in float. But it's to the point right now, my opinion, when it starts to move up, everybody who bought right here are going to be looking to get out. They were hoping for this to come back up, which is starting to do right now. But I'd be careful with tops for sure. The bid could get ripped out from under it at any moment. It's just, I don't like it. But that's going to be it for this market recap, guys. Hopefully you are all staying safe out there, being patient, just observing the market. I'm not liking the action too much today. I'm glad I made my profit, and now I'm able to just take it easy the rest of the day. Tomorrow's a new day. Starting the week off up $450. Now rest of the week going into not forcing anything and just waiting for setups, waiting for that setup. That's what it's all about, having the patience. Today, all the attention's on the shippers. You also had JTPY gap up, but look what it's doing. It's a barcode stock. Look at that. GLBS be making moves though. Look at that. 640 up to 772. That's very volatile. Very, very volatile. I'd be careful with these shippers. They have a mind of their own. I don't see any news on why they're up either. But that's it for this market recap, guys. Until next time, be patient, be disciplined, and study, 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 everyone. Your hard work will pay off. All right, later.